Tonight, I was going to just touch bases on exactly what the difference is between the so-called paint with primer in it and your regular paint. What I'm coming up with is really not too much. There's a few more solids. So, and then you get a little bit less distance. It's probably a little bit heavier. And it says self-priming, but that just means it will stick to what you're painting. And the reason, well, there's two reasons that you use primer. One is to help whatever you're putting on to stick. But another reason that you want to use primer is it'll seal your surface and give you a smooth, even top coat, which just a regular latex paint, whether it's got primer in it or not, if you're painting a wood surface, some areas are going to be more porous than others. You're going to have some soaking in more in some places than others, and you're going to end up with a splotchy looking finish, and you're going to have to recoat it anyway. So if you, why pay $40 or plus for a gallon of paint with primer in it when you're going to need primer anyway, or you're going to have to put a second coat on it, and then you're talking $80 compared to a gallon of primer is probably $20. So, and then as far as repaint work, it still says to spot prime bare areas and then recoat. But I'll just pass these around, and I guess if you guys have any painting questions, we can use the last few minutes for like question and answer later or something. You got it.
Yep. If you like on the Home Depot commercial, they're always showing like if you got like stripes and they're trying to cover them so it doesn't like bleed through so you can't see them. Mm-hmm. They use that. They say, oh, we use the paint with a primer in it. Is that just because it's a thicker paint compared to the other paint that they used on there? Does it really cover better, or is that just
well, yeah, it will cover better because yeah, there is more solids in it. But even if you take a look at that on the data, I got them kind of highlighted. There's maybe just a little bit more solids in the self-priming one than there is in the regular house paint. And now on interiors, that's exterior paint, but interior is generally repaint. If you got bare drywall or plaster, I would recommend painting because you're going to get, it doesn't say anything about plaster or drywall, but that's exterior. I would still recommend priming first because like even on a wood surface, you're going to get it on the plaster where it soaks in more some places than others, and you're going to wind up having to recoat it because it's not going to look good anyway. Interior drywall primer is probably maybe $15 a gallon compared to the $35, $40 a gallon for your interior high test, top of the line stuff with primer in it. And on the inside, you got a controlled environment and everything. You're not getting the changes in temperature. You're not getting a lot of the direct sunlight, UV, and water. So any good latex paint is adequate for interior. You don't have to spend the $40 a gallon because it's kind of overkill.
Got a question for you. With the paint with the primer in it, I've got dogs, and they leave the skid marks on the corners and that around the house, and we want to paint the interior of the house again and cover up all those black marks and dirt marks and that from the dogs. Will that work for that, or should I use a different primer, or how would you recommend?
Is this outside or what?
Inside.
Inside? I would, try wiping it off. You know, if it's dirty, just clean it with a damp rag.
It's kind of got the oils.
Oily?
Yeah.
Well, if it's kind of greasy, oily, I would recommend an oil stain killer
Instead of just using the paint and primer in it.
instead of a latex, because if it's oily, latex on oil is gonna, you know, you get like, you ever try to paint over
Yeah, it's
silicone
fish
caulk
eye.
or something, you get all the fish eye,
Yeah.
it'll probably wind up something like that. Whereas an oil and oil, you know, it'll just blend it hard.
Right. If found something that would take it off, just clean it, would that work, you think?
You gotta watch what you're using, the mild detergent, if you're using cleaners, like some of these spray-on things have alcohol in them and stuff, and that will dissolve latex paint. So you don't really want it. Maybe like a mild surfing, or Murphy's, what do they call it, Murphy's
Murphy's
soap?
oil soap.
Yeah, because you don't even need to rinse that, you just,
Okay. And then I can paint over that.
yeah. And if you get most of the oil off, I would think just paint over it, and if you see a spot coming through, then just give it another coat and that's it. And more often than not, unless it's a magic marker or something like that. Then,
No, it's just dirty dogs.
yeah, I don't even know. I would try cleaning it a little bit and then just paint it, and it should be fine. Anybody else?
What would you recommend if you got, let's say, kids in the house, or what's the easiest paint to clean for the interior? You know, something that comes off, say kids break on the walls, what's the easiest, or what's the most durable, easiest thing to clean?
Like crayon or something?
Crayons or chalk or whatever, something like not permanent markers or anything like that.
Well, actually, you can get stuff to come off. There's like oops or goof off or products like that, but they're made to remove latex paint and crayon and stuff like that. But if your crayon is on latex paint, you try using that, you're going to take everything off.
Yeah.
So I would just recommend priming over these spots, and if you have any of that paint left over, just touch them up. You that or repaint the room.
You know, guys.
Because yeah, on latex paint, there's, you know, if it doesn't wash off, you know, the stuff that will remove it will remove the paint. You know.
So semi-gloss wouldn't be a better paint than to have, so like when kids, I got grandkids now, that's what I did. Areas are
Well, it's more
semi-gloss.
wipeable, you
Yeah.
know. But I mean, if they're writing on the walls with crayons, that's kind of a waxy,
Yeah,
and
but it seems to come off okay if you use a sponge and, you say a little dishwashing soap and,
really, I've never,
They have washable crayons.
oh, do they?
Not as bad as they used to.
not nowhere near as bad as it was you. Maybe that's what I got then.
No,
Because I know I just would I got a sponge that wipes it
well,
out.
if you can, most people are using an eggshell finish throughout the house now. You know,
Yeah,
where
it
it
was.
used to be, well, they wanted semi-gloss in the kitchens and bathrooms and flat everywhere else. Eggshell is almost like a flat sheen.
Yeah.
It does have a little bit of a sheen, but
Almost.
it's not, if you turn on your lamp, you know, your walls aren't gonna glare and all this kind of stuff. And it's still wipeable.
I made it look like a wainscoting. I got the bottom 3 feet, put that on there. And I put it just a little different tint.
Yeah, a little chair rail or something.
It looks like-
that,
yep,
and it's
yep.
another color.
Electric fence.
Huh?
Electric